Hi there, my name's Hannah, and if you've watched my previous videos or had a chance to read my website, you'll know that I've had psoriasis in one form or another for about 20 years. And this year, after a 30-day treatment program, I finally found something which has dramatically changed my life. It's 5 weeks into that program now. I'm going to do 60 days and then there's a maintenance program after that. 5 weeks in, you wouldn't know if I went out in a bikini that I had psoriasis, which, you know, if I'd have been saying that 30 days ago, if someone had told me that, I wouldn't have believed it myself. So first of all, I'm just going to show you some of my before pictures. You might have seen these before on my website or on a previous video, so I won't bore you with them for too long. But I do think it's important because if you've never seen these pictures before, it's difficult to understand quite how bad it was for me. I'm going to show you the inside of my arm. So you know that kind of soft, sensitive part, the part of your skin that's quite pale on the inside of your arms? This was that part of my skin 5 weeks ago. So take a look at my before pictures. Okay, so those are my before shots. Now, I'm going to try and show you this to camera. The picture was actually this part of my arm. It started from here and went all the way down pretty much to my wrist. The back of my hand was really bad as well, so you'll have seen that photograph. I don't know how well that's in focus or whether you can see it, but you wouldn't know from looking at my hands now that I had psoriasis. The scarring is barely even there, which in 5 weeks is amazing. Previously, when I've found things that have helped, or, you know, sometimes when I've just gone into remission for no apparent reason, I've always ended up with white spots. I used to call it like Dalmatian skin. I look like a little spotty Dalmatian. And those white spots cleared eventually, but it was quite, they were noticeable for a long time. This time, if I went out in a bikini, you really wouldn't know that I've got psoriasis or that I've had it. And I'm not sure what that's down to. I don't know if that's down to the coconut oil that I've been using or the salt brushing, perhaps a combination, or if it's just because my skin's healing from the inside out. So perhaps that's made a huge difference this time. Anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit today about the topical treatments that I've used on my skin. So it's not these treatments alone that have worked. I think it's important to say that they definitely help, and if you're unable to do the diet for whatever reason, if you don't feel you have the willpower, then I do think this treatment alone will aid relief, certainly, but I don't believe it's going to be the answer to cure you. You know, a lot of people have said, oh, what cream did you use to sort your psoriasis? It wasn't just a case of using cream, it's definitely a combination program. But I do think that this part of the program has certainly sped up the effects that the diet have had on my skin. You know, without doubt. So, okay, what I'm going to talk about today: exfoliating, sea salt brushing, and coconut oil. Those are the three main things. In addition to that, I do use sunbeds. I'm sure you can tell that, you know, because my skin is tanned and it's winter here in the UK. So unless I've been on an amazing holiday, which sadly I've not just yet this year, yeah, I do use sunbeds, but that's something I've always used and have always found it's helped, but never had complete clearance using sunbeds, you know, certainly not by any extent. So again, for me, standard UVA sunbeds that you find in the tanning shops have helped me, but it's not the only thing that I've done this time around. I was using them before and they were aiding a little bit, but this time, as part of this combination program, I certainly believe again that they've sped up the clearing for me. If you can get to the Dead Sea, it's something Jason talks about, Jason Vale in his Skin Clear program. Amazing. And it was actually going to be my next step. If I hadn't seen clearance from this diet, that was going to be my next investment, was a holiday to the Dead Sea. Again, you know, I don't believe that alone cures it. Jason talks about the Danish on their NHS program. That's what you get as part of the treatment. You get to go to the Dead Sea. That's what they prescribe on the NHS, which is incredible and very forward thinking, you know, of their medical community. However, as Jason says, you know, they're eating lots of junk food and drinking lots out there, so they're coming back and the psoriasis is flaring again. Whereas I think if you do that in combination with a treatment program with diet and with topical skin, you know, skin applications, natural skin applications, then I do believe you will see some amazing results. For the meantime, I'm using sunbeds a few times a week. I'm going to drop that back to once a week, maybe once a fortnight. Whilst everybody likes looking tanned, you know, there are obviously potential side effects to using sunbeds all the time. If it's not something you've tried previously, and as a guy, I know that perhaps you're a little bit concerned about using sunbeds. Maybe it's not something you sort of ventured into. Go to your local tanning shop, have a word with the girls behind the counter. Usually they've seen skin problems. They're usually really helpful. And the one thing that I make sure I never do is burn. You know, if I've not been on for a while, I'll take it really easy, go on for 3 minutes, go on for 6 minutes and kind of build my time up. So yeah, I never burn. That's definitely important. But if you've not tried it, it might be something, you know, give it a go, try a few sessions and see if you can see a difference. I think if it's going to help you in combination with this plan, you'll see the difference quite quickly. So you'll know whether or not, you know, for you, it's worth continuing. And again, you might want to just do it until you get clear. Then I believe the rest of the plan, you know, the diet and the maintenance, the topical applications on your skin, the coconut oil, you know, will do the rest for you. But this could just speed it along if you've not seen fast results in the past, or, you know, if you're not seeing quick results this time. So today, exfoliating, sea salt brushing and coconut oil. Those are the three things I'm going to talk about. So firstly, I'm going to talk about these little things that I've got in my hand here. This isn't something Jason Vale has spoken about. Actually, I learned about these little things from a lady who I used to buy some natural skin moisturiser from. It's important to say that everything I'm going to talk about today is 100% natural. So I have stopped all you know, all bath foams, all body washes. Everything I use now is natural. When you read the back of some of those bottles, I can't even pronounce the chemical names, let alone know exactly, you know, what's contained within them. But there are an awful lot of chemicals, and I just don't believe it's good for your skin. There are some natural products out there, so, you know, if you really want to use them, then those are good. I now just use natural oils, 100% natural. I use jojoba oil, I hope I've pronounced that right, spelled Jojoba, and lavender oil. Those are the natural oils that I add to my bath. And they're really nice. The whole house at the moment just smells of coconut and lavender, which, you know, there's worse things for the house to smell of, so it's all good. So starting off with these little things, Boots here in the UK used to sell them. I think it was £1 for 3 or a couple of quid for 3. Whether or not they still sell them, I know they stopped for a while. They are branded as silky mitts or skin exfoliating mitts. Mitts, I guess, because they're kind of hollow like that on the inside. So I guess you're probably supposed to use them like this. And they're designed to smooth your legs and to smooth the hairs on your legs. But the lady that I spoke to who used to provide these natural moisturisers for me said they were great at exfoliating the flakes from the top of the psoriasis, for exfoliating the dead skin off the top. And the reason that that's really important is because if you're going to apply something like coconut oil, which, you know, the benefits of that are amazing, you want the benefits to really soak in to your skin underneath, you know, to really get to the problem. It's soaking into the dead skin on the top is, you know, is pretty useless. I know this is going to be painful for you if you've got open or cut skin at the moment with psoriasis. So take it easy to begin with, you know, and see how you go with it. I definitely think it will help. The same with the salt brushing. I did it from day one, and part of me wishes I had videoed it at the time, but it was a lot of crying and a lot of swearing because the pain was immense. So I'm going to show you how I use them today. It's not going to look quite the same as it will on your skin because, you know, mine's pretty much clear now. I'm going to show you on here on a little patch on my knee, which again is fading quite well at the moment. So, but this is the only sort of real little patch that I've got left. There's a couple of little dots lower down my legs as well. But I'm going to show you on here. But again, you know, you'll figure out how to do this when you buy them. So I now buy these off eBay. I think they're a couple of quid posted. And you get 3 in a pack. And you can reuse them a few times as well. They're like really, really fine sandpaper. And the way I use them, in fact, I'll just show you up to the camera on my hand first of all, is just simply by rubbing the back of my skin. Like that. So you can feel how smooth it is after you've done it. So what you're going to do if you've got, you know, flakes is just gently rub. You know, you don't need to do that hard. Just gently rub, and it will rub the flakes and the dead skin off the top. It's really, really fine grain sandpaper. And again, you know, I also think this really helps with the scarring aspect. You know, I really think it stops the scars being so noticeable, and it also allows your skin to renew in a healthy, you know, in a healthy way. So once you're healing from the inside out, it's allowing that kind of healthy renewal of skin cells as well, and you're just getting rid of that dead skin on the top. So I'll move the camera in a minute and I'll show you exactly how it is I use it on my knee. But these things are great and they're so cheap, and I always do this. It's always on dry skin, and I do it before I salt brush. And then before I apply the coconut oil. As I say, it might hurt a little bit to begin with. My skin also used to bleed quite badly after using this. So, you know, I used to jump in the bath afterwards. And again, then with the salt brushing, my skin used to bleed quite badly. And then, you know, I don't know, just chuck an old hoodie or chuck some pajamas on. Yeah, it's not pleasant and quite painful. But it definitely helps. Definitely. So go through the pain to begin with and see how you go with it. They are reusable, so you don't need to just use one pad once and then chuck it in the bin. You can reuse it a few times, and as I say, you get 3 of those in a packet, so it's really inexpensive and definitely worth a try. So I'm just going to pick the camera up now and just show you here on my knee how it is that I use these, because that will hopefully give you a better idea of exactly how to exfoliate with them. And then we're going to move on to Dead Sea brushing, which I know a lot of people do dry. I actually use the Dead Sea salts in the bath. I chuck them in the bath and then I use them on my skin as well. So I'm going to show you, you know, the method that I've used. Okay, so there is my knee. Hopefully you can see that. That is pretty much just scarring now. You will see a lot of redness, you know, in addition to your skin potentially bleeding, you're going to see a lot of redness after you've done this. You know, maybe do it last thing at night and then go to bed covering yourself in oil. You'll wake up in the morning, your skin will look and feel a lot better. You know, but it is going to look quite red and angry after you've first done this and the salt brushing. So don't worry too much about that. So here's the silk pad, and all I do is rub like this. And sometimes with the flakes, I used to use the edges of the pad just to get the flakes off. And then again, just like that to kind of smooth it down. You can already see on my skin there, you know, because there is still some dry skin here and a little bit of flaking. It's so, I wish I'd done this when my skin was a bit worse, because you would have seen it a bit better. But there you go. So it's just kind of smoothing it out. Okay, there we go. So then the next thing I do is go and jump into a bath with some oils and some sea salt, and I'll demonstrate that for you next. Okay, so here we are in my bathroom. I'm sure it sounds a little bit echoey now on the video. I just wanted to show you exactly what it is I do when I salt brush, because I know a lot of people have asked me about, you know, if there's a specific technique. So the edges of my bath would before have been covered in different chemicals, you know, bath washes, bath foams, bath bubbles. The only things I use now, T-gel shampoo, the coal tar shampoo on my hair, which I've always used for scalp psoriasis. And aside from that, lots of different oils. At the moment, I tend to use lavender and I think you pronounce it jojoba oil. It's spelled J-O-J-O-B-A. I'm sure you've come across it. Again, I just buy all my stuff off eBay, you know, because it's such a good price. So these are 100% oils. So I always add some of these to the bath. So here are my oils. So, you know, I just put a few drops of these oils in. I'm not very scientific when it comes to amounts, you know, I just chuck it in there. If you're going to wash your hair in the bath, I quite often dunk my hair under the water. It's obviously going to make it greasy because you've got the oils there. But I like it because it really helps my scalp. So I then wrap my head up for the night and go to bed and really allow those oils to soak in, and then shampoo it off in the shower in the morning. And I think that helps. Then, of course, the other thing is Dead Sea salt. So I've got this huge bag here think my postman's kind of fed up of carting these gigantic bags of Dead Sea salt to my front door. So, handful of Dead Sea salt like this, and just chuck it in there. If I was going to use the oils alone in the bath, as opposed to Dead Sea salt scrubbing my skin, then I would probably add more than that. But because I'm going to add more anyway as I'm scrubbing my skin, then I just chuck a handful in there. Okay, so you can see there are still a couple of little kind of patches and dots. It's not 100% clear. My legs have actually been the last to clear. So there are still a couple of little bits there. So the way I use the Dead Sea salt, I know some people use this dry. I found it less painful using it in the bath. So that's a handful of the sea salt there. I know how much this is going to hurt. You know, if your psoriasis is bad at the moment, I literally swore and screamed in agony when I did this. It doesn't hurt now. So at first, just see what you can cope with. You know, rub it in as best you can. What you're trying to do is exfoliate the dead skin cells from the top off your skin. See how you cope with that. You know, if you really can't bear anything more than that, if that's, you know, even that's good. So just see what you can cope with. For me, this wasn't the most painful part. The most painful part was this bit, when you put your leg in the water to wash it off. I don't know, for some reason that really hurt. It doesn't hurt now because, you know, as I say, my skin's healed itself well. So for me now, and hopefully, you know, in 30 days time, you'll be doing the same. I kind of properly go for it. You know, I really use this every day as a vigorous moisturiser. I might skip the odd day, but pretty much every day. You can see a few little white dots there. There's still a little bit of scarring on my legs. As I say, they're the last to clear. So there we go. Really rub the salt in and then wash it off. And because I've got these oils in the bath as well, the water kind of starts beading up on my skin and it feels really nice and soft because of those oils. You know, and then obviously I apply the same technique on my arms and on my tummy as well, because on my tummy it was quite bad. So that's the main thing. You grab yourself a handful of salt, run it down your leg, and as I say, you know, gently if you can't cope with the pain, but hopefully the more you do it, the easier it will be. And you know, the pain's only a few seconds. It stings for a few seconds. So grit your teeth, go through it, and then once you've dunked your leg in the water with that oil, hopefully, you know, the pain will subside. And then afterwards we're gonna apply coconut oil, so that will really help as well. So there we go. That's how I do my Dead Sea salt brushing. Okay, so in the final part of my video today, I'm going to talk about the application of coconut oil on your skin as part of this skincare regime for psoriasis. If you haven't used coconut oil before, it wasn't something which I'd come across until 5 weeks ago when I started the plan. You can use it for cooking and you can use it for applying to your skin. This was the first jar that I bought. That's about 500 grams there. And that was from Holland & Barrett in the UK. Costs about 14 quid, I think, for that particular jar. This is a supermarket one, which I picked up. I needed some more the other day and I was in the supermarket anyway, had a quick look at the olive oils and this was there, which I've never seen it before, but it's perhaps because I wasn't looking out for it. I know that I've seen it since in Tesco and in Sainsbury's in the UK. So if you need to buy it, this one is 300ml and they charge £6 for that, which is a reasonable price. However, the best bargain is this one, good old eBay. And this is a kilogram of coconut oil and they charge a tenner for it, which is a bargain. Now, the best thing about this one, aside from the price, if you have a look at this, that's what the coconut oil looks like. It's solid at room temperature, but pretty much the minute your skin touches it, it turns to liquid really quickly. You can probably see it there turning really greasy on my fingers. It turns to liquid really fast. So this one, you kind of scoop your fingers in and get some out. The brilliant thing about this is that they send it you in these big chunks. And what's great about that is when you apply it to your skin, you can literally rub this chunk of coconut oil along your skin. You can probably see that my skin's starting to get really greasy as it rubs in. If you have a look at my hands, you can see how greasy they get. And it turns to grease in no time. It really does. As soon as it warms a little bit. If you're struggling, if it's really cold, you might want to put it on the radiator just to melt it a little bit in the pot and then apply it. But I find it really easy just using those big chunks and then rubbing them over my leg. So initially at the start of the plan, I was applying this 3 to 5 times a day. I'm lucky I work from home, so that made it a lot easier. Used to apply it, stick some old sweatpants and a hoodie on, and then, just kind of put up with the grease, which feels a bit strange at first because it is quite greasy on your skin. But my skin was so dry to begin with that it was almost a welcome relief, from the dryness and the itching. And my skin absorbed it in no time. And then at night, put loads of it on and put, an old pair of PJs on. To be fair, it washes out of your clothes anyway. So it just means you probably have a bit of extra laundry to do, but it does wash out anyway. Obviously, if you're going to work and you don't want it all over your work clothes, then do just apply it at night and try and apply loads at the weekends or, whenever you're not working. And then, so there you go. Once that's on, pajama trousers, over my leg, and that's it. That's what I do before going to sleep at night. And I applied it absolutely all over my body, including my face and including my hairline where my scalp psoriasis was visible. It feels really good for scalp psoriasis. And if you're really struggling with that, it might also be worth, completely rubbing it into your scalp. And again, putting up with the fact that it's greasy overnight and then washing it out in the morning. So those are your options. That one is definitely the simplest to use and also the best price. And you know what it's like on eBay. Here in the UK, certainly it was delivered next day. So, they were really good. It was really quick. But then the other ones are an option, if you want to get started quickly and you want to go down to the shops and pick something up, then perhaps that's an option for you.